You're in Braves country.
Good morning or good afternoon, depending on what time zone you're in, Braves country, as the Atlanta Braves are set to have opening day, and it is, as I'm trying to get this thing to correct itself, some of the baseball sites are having issue. But anyways, Atlanta Braves are opening day today. It is 7:15 first pitch, so we're back to at least a normal schedule, thank God. As man, I'll tell you what, I don't know about y'all, but that schedule did a number on me. I mean, I cannot believe the way A, that Major League Baseball would do that to the Braves, but B, that they would agree to it, because they do have some arguments to be made when they decide that they want to how the season opens up, okay? And what I mean by that is they don't have to go in agreement. They can go in and talk to them before the schedule is released. Say, wait a minute. What the hell are you doing to me? You have me over here. What time are we starting on all these games? And we're out on the West Coast, and that goes strictly from going from where were we? We were in on the West Coast of Florida, going from the West Coast of Florida to the West Coast of the United States. And so that had an effect. There's no way in hell that it didn't have an effect. And people that think that didn't and think that that's some kind of an excuse really aren't thinking logically, because if it has an effect on us as fans watching the game and consuming the game, it has effect on everybody else. And the guys out there, they don't even get a chance to go home after a long spring training, so they're away from their family and everything for 30 days, and then they immediately go out for an entire week. No day off, by the way. That's the other kicker of that entire thing. There was no day off to kind of reset yourself. They played Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. There should have been a day built in, because there's always a day off built in when you talk about opening day. You've got, who's at Minnesota's off today, but typically, when you play opening day, you don't play the next day, or there's a day coming up that you don't play. You noticed, was it Philly? Somebody had Sunday off, and it was odd, but it's because they wanted to get ready to, to go back home and whatnot. They could have built a day off in. And so that's one of my biggest gripes with Major League Baseball in this whole shabacle, is the fact that not only, and for that matter, I'm not thrilled with the Braves organization for laying over and playing dead, right? So with all that being said, we do have opening day. We are getting set for pitch by pitch, play by play of your Atlanta Braves at 7:15 first pitch, and we do these live at noon Eastern when the series begins. We're going to do this for a while, see how it goes, see what kind of following we get. If not, then we'll just go back to the standard quote. But it gives us a chance to open up. And we're only going to do about 20, 25 minutes, somewhere in that neighborhood. But it gives us a chance to talk about the series coming up. They're going to be at noon Eastern on YouTube. We will put them on Facebook as well. Usually, Facebook likes to play games as far as with videos and whatnot. But they actually banged us the other day. This is funny. Facebook banged us the other day because they said that a video of ours was already licensed from somebody. Yeah, it was my video, you jackass. Anyways, that's just dealing with the likes of Facebook, which is, unfortunately, it's a necessary evil in this business. Hopefully, y'all are starting to find Braves Country X on TikTok. We do the on this dates are dropped in the morning on them, and then we eventually repurpose them onto YouTube Shorts. The problem with the YouTube Shorts, when you do it, you don't get the whole video because they have standards where it can't be past, I think it's a 60-second deal, and these are typically 90 seconds. So if you want to see the whole video, you need to go to TikTok, and it's once again Braves Country X. And we just quit putting them on Facebook because of the whole nonsense where they're telling us that we don't own the rights to our damn video. So, anywho, that's what's going on with that stuff. The Braves tonight will turn to Schwellenbach, and that's not nothing. I mean, if there's ever been a stopper, you can see the numbers there on your screen. Schwellenbach, 0.00 ERA, and that's great. The problem is he's going up against Meyer, who 1.59 ERA, and he, what did he go, 5 2/3, gave up 1 earned run the other day, and he has been a guy who's been pretty good, but he's battled injuries, but he was the number 3 overall pick back in 2020, so he's a guy that they definitely look long-term for. I get it, he was at home, he was going against the Pirates, and all that entails there, the Pirates offense isn't necessarily going to light up the world, but neither is the Atlanta Braves offense. And that's one of our biggest concerns going into this series is how are the Braves going to get some runs on the board early and often? Because if they do that, I think everything else falls into place. But once again, I'm not going to bang the hell out of the offense because I just think that the time frames in that series was ridiculous. You know, it's bad enough the times that they put us on. They didn't give us a day off at any point in time during the first 7 days of the season. Because I remember back before, now right now we're currently the only team who's winless, and we're 0-7. But it was building up, and we were 0-4 and 0-5. Everybody else had played one game less because everybody else had had a damn day off. So it's absurd, and yeah, it'll all even out in the end, but when you get off to a bad start, it's really hard to rebound. It's hard to kind of get your footing. If you go on that kind of a ridiculous road trip in the middle of the season, you're usually a little better for the wear because your guys are in a better groove. You're probably not going to win the road trip, but you'll be happy with winning 2 or 3 games out of 7, and you come back. And I think that's what the Braves brass was hoping for, but didn't get, because I don't think a lot of them thought about, because we're very analytically driven, and I don't think a lot of them thought about the human side of the fact that these guys are going, once again, I won't regurgitate the whole thing, but they're going out there, no rest, 7 games, and the weird start times, and there should have been a day off built in. But Max Meyer is a guy that we have seen before. He's not new to Braves country. Right-hander. He, 7 strikeouts his first. So I expect this to be a low-scoring game. I do, unfortunately. I would love to say that the Braves are going to come out of this funk and they are going to go out there and they are going to put the Marlins to bed early and often. But Meyer, assuming that he pitches the way he's known to pitch, he's probably going to be a very difficult guy to get out of the game. I hope that the Braves try to work some magic and try to do some of the things that they did early in the game on Wednesday night. They just didn't stick with it, which was really ridiculous. They came out there, and I guarantee you Tim Heyer had a lot to do with that. They came out there, they started the game, and the first thing that they did was they were eating pitches. They were working the pitch count. They were getting the pitch count high. And then we got a few runs on the board, and we went back to the same bad habits. Swinging early. They gave Snell 2 really quick innings after running that pitch count up at the beginning. They could have had the Dodgers waving the white flag. But as much as your much as your hitting coach plays into all these strategies, the manager has got to stand up, and when the guys come back in the dugout and go, would you take some damn pitches? Because if you can't take pitches, you're going to take some pine. And that's the problem we have. I kind of had a back and forth with the guy on social media the other day, the other evening, and he didn't see anything wrong with what Snicker does. And I get it. There are people who are gonna die on that hill. There's nothing that you can say or do to get them to believe that this is a team that isn't led by the best manager in baseball. But I don't see it that way. I never have. And I don't hold punches with that. Because when Riley was standing there, the bases loaded, 1 out, and that pitch was a good 2 to 3 inches below his knees, there should have been. I know you're not going to get the call overturned. I'm not an idiot. But your manager should stand up when you're 0-6 and get his ass tossed out of the game. And so with all that being said, this continues to be a problem. And there's a lot of rumors going out there that this is Snickers last year. Good riddance. I wish him well. He got us a championship-ish. I still say we won despite and not because. But I cannot sit here and pretend like he does a great job. He's 0-7. And if you're going to pat him on the back and tell him how great of a manager he is when he goes out and wins 100 games, then you got to turn around and say you're doing a terrible job when you're 0-7. Because at some point, a fire has to be lit under asses. And so, I don't know if they got to hire a motivational speaker, because there's not a lot that comes from him that really radiates energy. He's like, oh, well, shucks, and it's the same old thing. You look at what Myers has done to us before, and that's why I do want to caution y'all on a lot of optimism. Be great if the Braves come out of the funk, they come home, they go, all right, let's go. But in 2024 in April, the Braves faced Meyer, and Max Meyer went 6 innings, 7 punchies, and allowed just 1 earned run. Now, there is light at the end of the tunnel. The next time we face him is in August, and I realize he was just coming off of the IL. So take that with what you may. The first one was in Miami, second one's in August. Or second one's in Atlanta, excuse me. He goes to Atlanta, and he goes 5 innings, gives up 4 earned runs and 3 home runs. And I remember that game because I remember going into it going, oh, God, here we go again. And we actually played very well. So he didn't pitch a whole lot last year. He was coming off a major surgery. But those are the 2 instances that we saw him. I won't go back any further than that because it's kind of nonsensical to go back before he got the first injury. I don't even think the Braves didn't even face him that year. But last year we saw him twice, and once again, you can argue it both ways. You can say, hey, the first time he got to us, the second time we got to him because we'd seen him, and that might be true. But it also may be because he was just coming off an injury, and he'd only had one other handful of innings under his belt before he came off a stint where I believe he missed like 3 or 4 months. And we've all seen our pitchers do that. They come off the IL, and it's Katie bar the door. So this is a game that if you never say this in Major League Baseball in the regular season, but this feels like a must win. If they go to 0-8, if they go to 0-9, if they go to 0-10, this team is going to be in an absolute panic mode when Philly comes in on. We do get the day off on Monday, so Tuesday. So this is an absolute must-win game, and I expect Schwellenbach to be at his best. We should have the entire bullpen ready to roll, so Schwellenbach can go 6 or 7, and then you can hand it off to the likes of the Pierce Johnsons and the Dylan Lee, who I think has pitched phenomenally starting the season, and then Iglesias. And Iglesias just needs to get warmed. I mean, I'm not going to get on to Iglesias for that home run on Wednesday. It was the only second time he'd pitched since people were saying pitched in 7 days. It's not really true. It's the second time he'd pitched in a game in about a week and a half because they shut him down in spring training towards the end of the final week. And it was the last time that he pitched a meaningful inning since September because the inning that he came in earlier in the week on Monday, the game was already over. It was a blowout. It was mop-up. And you can't compare that to the high leverage situations. The rest of the series looks like that, and then I'll get to your questions and comments because that's another reason why we like to do this. Because we don't really have a time to do that during the other games when we do the 10-minute pregame show because there's so much other stuff going on. Tomorrow, it's a 7:15 start. I think I misspoke the other day and said that it was an afternoon start. I was thinking of the Tampa Bay game the following week. Got Tampa Bay and Miami mixed up in my head. Next Saturday, it's 4:10 first pitch. This Saturday, it's 7:15. I should have known better because the Braves don't like to have afternoon games on Saturdays if they can help it. I think it's a huge mistake. I think they should let the fan catch a late afternoon game than it is and eat up their Saturday night. And then the fans can go out and go have dinner and whatnot. You think you're going to get a lot of fans to stay at home other than us diehards to watch the game on a Saturday night? Think about your average sports fan. First of all, you're going to be going head-to-head with the Final Four, so that was nonsensical to begin with. And the Marlins don't move the meter on the television ratings. Saturday is Cal Quantrill versus A.J. Smith-Shawver. You'll see his numbers tomorrow. He's got a 13.5 ERA. Don't let that fool you. He is a KG veteran. Went 4 innings his first outing, and it was just really, got roughed up. But Cal Quantrill, for most folks who don't know, he had a really good season last year out in Colorado, and that's saying something to have a good season out in Colorado. I'm surprised he didn't get more interest in the offseason. A.J. Smith-Shawver goes for us. I didn't think he pitched terribly. I thought he was pretty good. He wasn't dominant, but he only went 4 innings. They're going to be looking for him to go just a little further on Saturday. We'll get more into that actual game on the pregame for Saturday. And then Sunday, we're back to some normalcy with an afternoon tilt. That was the other kicker. You're going to make us go out there to L.A. and San Diego for 7 straight, no day off. Why the hell are we the Sunday night game? Because they should have allowed the Braves to play. It would have been 4 o'clock, but 1 o'clock local to get out of there to head to Dodgerland the next day. Just the whole thing from the front office. This has nothing to do with any of the managers, the coaches. From the front office, they dropped the damn ball. Whoever was in charge of it, I'm sure Anthopoulos had a hand in it. Whoever was in charge of the scheduling part of the first week and didn't push back, they dropped the ball across the damn board. Sunday, we're going to 1:35 first pitch. Meeting will come on there about 1. It'll be Grant Holmes versus Sandy Alcantara. That is not going to be easy. Sandy Alcantara is a hell of a pitcher, and he hasn't even really gotten going yet. And we hope that we can get it in and out of there unscathed. But you're going to be looking to try to push his innings up, push his pitch count up, because Sandy Alcantara is a guy who's coming off Tommy John surgery, and they're going to be very cautious about that. If they can now look, he pounds the zone. You can't just sit there and take pitches all day long. But they've got to find a way to work him out of there. Grant Holmes, I think, has pitched pretty well. He had a couple of bumps in the road in the early part of the season, but all in all, he hasn't been that bad, and I think he'll pitch much better at home against the Marlins than on the road at the Dodgers. So that should be a fun matchup as well. We'll do the pick to click and predictions as we do the lineups here in a bit as we get ready for first pitch, 7:15, in case you're just joining us. All right, let's get to the questions and comments. And once again, if you want to catch this, it is the day of the series opener at noon Eastern. Consistently, it's going to be on YouTube, and we're trying to put it on Facebook. But if they try to claim our video is not our video, then I don't really give a crap if we put it over there or not. All right, let's start up here. I'll kind of scroll through these. If you got any new ones, let me know, because I've got a different one. What is this thing telling me? Excuse me 1 second. There's some alert coming on, and I have no idea why this alert has never came on since we've done this in all my time. But anyways, there's got to be a way to close it out. Let me see if I go backwards in this. Anyways, all right. Well, who the hell cares? All right, let's go back into this. All right, questions and comments. I'll start it over here on this one. All right, Hellion saying you'd think if a player does positive, it would void his contract. That's just never going to happen. If you follow the contract negotiations and the CBA with the Braves, it's just, I mean, with the Major League Baseball, it's never going to happen. CBA is never going to agree to that because it's taking money out of their pocket. So it sucks, and I agree that in any other walk of life, your contract would be null and void, or it would be up to the team to maybe renegotiate it, but it's just never going to happen. So it's just one of those hills that it's not worth dying on, because it's just a waste of energy for us to fret over it. Charles says, "What was the final last night?" We were off. Let's see. Let me see if there's any questions and comments. See what's Jillian saying. I've seen a lot of people calling for fans tonight to boo the team. No, I'm with you, Jillian. There's no way. You don't boo your own team. We're not going to turn into Philadelphia, okay? Let's not turn into damn, the trash that is the Philadelphia fan base. You don't boo your own team, especially on opening night. I don't know where you're seeing that, but I would unfollow that idiot on X or wherever you're seeing it. It's probably on a Facebook chat knowing that. See, I guess that was the first part of everyone's comments. And once again, an ejection sometimes can get your team fired up. They've talked about it for years, how Bobby Cox would get ejected even though he knew it wasn't going to change anything. And sometimes he would get ejected on ridiculous stuff that you'd be like, why the hell did he get mad about that? It was trying to light a fire in his team's ass. That's all he did. And the psychology of it, that's why I say it's not that Snicker is a bad baseball manager per se. He's a bad Major League Baseball manager or below average baseball manager on a team in a market that expects to compete every year. He was great developing the kids down on the farm. And the steadiness and the steady as she goes and the even keel helps develop the players, and I get that, and I think that's why he was very good at it for years. And nonetheless, he should end up in the Atlanta Braves Hall of Fame. No argument on that, because of what he did for 40 plus years down on the farm, and then came up and he did win a championship and he won some divisions, right? But the idea that he's a leader of young men in difficult situations just isn't it. Would you want him leading you into battle anywhere? No, because he's just kind of like that, do. Everything's good. Everything's good. It'll work it all out. But for the first time, I listened to the post game press conference on Wednesday night. For the first time, I saw some actual human emotion. He looks like he's been kicked while he's down. And maybe some emotion will come out, but I don't think you're going to. If he was a younger manager, I would say maybe he's learning the role. This is who he is at this point. See here. I don't know what Charles is talking about. Same kind of schedule, pre-95 years. I don't know what that means. You must be talking about something that I'm not. I didn't have time to read the whole thing. So yes, Reptile, we call every game pitch by pitch, play by play. Right here on Braves Country Radio. This is our 5th season of doing it. It's our 4th full year. We joined in doing this. I've told the story 100 times, but the short of it, it was the end of the summer in 2021 when we first started these. It was much different. The app was different. I didn't have near the sounds and all the different things of the games that we bring to you now. It was literally me just doing it on, I think we're using Zoom. And that was it. I don't even remember what the hell we did during the breaks. I think I had slapped together some commercials from the sports talk show that I did for years with local CBS affiliates. I think that's what I was using. But it was shortly after we started this that I added the chop. And it was probably, I don't believe we did it in year 1, but I believe year 2, we started doing the chop when a guy got on base, et cetera, kind of morphs from there. And if you know how my brain works, I'm always trying to develop new things and add new things. And we've got a new one. I don't think we've been able to play it yet for, actually, I think we played one of them for Matt Olson, but we try to come up with ones that are individualized too when they get on base. To have fun, the Drake, Ozzy, Big Zoo, all of them have their clips and whatnot. But same scheduling as their NL West, yeah. But they didn't. Okay, first of all, big damn difference. They didn't start out there, and they didn't play all these primetime games. Big difference, huge difference. It's not the same. It's absolutely 100% not the same. And back then, if you remember, when you would go out west, if you went out west for opening day, let's say at the Padres, your very next series was back in Atlanta. They didn't start all this stuff of back-to-back series on the road for major league teams till fairly recently, because that was always the trade-off. Because if you remember back then, the season started on a Monday. So you would give up your Monday through Wednesday or Monday through Thursday because they always incorporated a day off the next day. Half the league would start on Tuesday. Half the league would start on Monday. And you would come home for the home opener, which would be on Friday. So that was the give and take. The give and take was, all right, we might start off on the road on San Diego on Monday, but come Friday on the home series on the weekend, we're going to be at home against, back then, probably like the Reds in the NL West or whatnot. So, yeah, Reptile, when we first started this, we didn't do it every single game. I think the first season, until the playoffs came, we did it Tuesday and Friday. I tried to do one for every series. And then as it built, I remember I was going to do the same thing on 2022, and it wasn't long before my wife just kind of rolled my eyes. She said, just get in there. Because I went from going Tuesday and Friday to going, I think I'm going to do 2 games each series. And then the next thing you know, by 2023 and 2024, we were doing almost every game. But this year, what we have added is we are doing the Sunday games. The only time I'm not going to be here is if something terrible happened, like this morning when I had to chase my dog out in the street because her eyesight's terrible, and she ran out into the road, and thankfully there was no cars coming. So if you don't see me, it's either that or we are moving this summer, so there's probably going to be 1 or 2 games that I might miss there, but we're trying to set it up where hopefully one of them lands on an off day. But and disclaimer, the Sunday that ends the first half of the season, we're heading to Atlanta that day to hang out with all of y'all. They're playing the Cardinals. I believe it's a road game, so I think it's 2:00. My hope is that I am in the Atlanta area in time to sit down and watch the Braves game. Let me pull that up because I keep thinking about it, and I've only looked at it a couple of times, but I'm almost positive that the Braves, I know they're on the road because they're doing all kinds of festivities. We talked about this in the live the other night. They're doing a boat ton of activities right before the All-Star game, and it starts on that Saturday. Let me see here. July 13th. Yeah, it's a 2:15 Eastern first pitch at the Cardinals. So my hope is to be somewhere watching that with some cold ones with all of y'all somewhere. Meet up that Sunday. I mean, I'm going to try like hell to be there by first pitch, but at least by sometime in that game, because we're moving a lot closer to the Atlanta area than where I am now. So looking forward to that. Hopefully, I mean, I'm looking at it right now, and the Cardinals are 4-2, and the Braves are 0-7. I'm like, God, I look like I'm looking at the Atlanta Falcons record right now. This is ridiculous. If anyone's got any last minute comments, throw them in here. I'm about to jump out. I see some mad emoji from Facebook. Amen. We're all mad at this point. And let me see here. What do we have here? We're going to have to find, and I'm going to try to start working on that next week. We're going to have to find somewhere that's not in the Battery, but hopefully close by to it, that we can meet up. Because starting that Saturday before the All-Star game, you have to have a ticket to get into the Battery area, which means all those restaurants are going to be booked. And there's going to be nowhere to sit. So we're going to try to find some place that's this nice little sports bar type of atmosphere. I'm sure it won't be super easy, but I think we'll find something that we can find something close to Truist Park and hang out and watch the game. And I'm sure there's there's not a Sunday night game before the All-Star break. So my plan is we're going to the All-Star festivities on Monday. I don't know if I'm going to the actual Home Run Derby yet. The tickets are insane. I think the ones we looked up were like $500 a piece to watch a non-game. And then the All-Star game themselves is thousands of dollars. I don't see me putting out that kind of money for 3 hours of entertainment. But maybe we figure out a place to go watch the games together and whatnot. So we'll see how that plays out. I got some good friends that are coming with us, but I don't know how much they're going to be hanging out or not, because they've got young ones and they're going to want to do their own thing, and which is makes a ton of sense. Hopefully, yeah, John, you need to get it together, son. Pump that email out. Hopefully, we'll have a good start to this series. I'm going to step away because if not, when we replay this, is going to be an extremely long pregame show. But great seeing everybody in the chat, and thank you for our subscriptions are up. I think our country club members are a little bit up, but some of that it's hard to tell because of the way that you can gift them, and but the views are definitely up. Hopefully that continues. 0-7 playing the Marlins, I know is tricky for people to want to still watch, but I'm not giving up on this team. I've been a fan of this team since early 1980s. I'm not going to give up on them now. Not with the roster this loaded. Eventually the talent comes around. And just like you can go 0-7 and really spit the bit, you can also turn it around. And we could be talking next week about being neck and neck with the Phillies, because we get 3 at home with the Marlins and then 3 at home with the Phillies before we go back out on the road to take on Tampa Bay and Toronto. Remember, the Phillies are hosting the Dodgers this weekend. We're not catching them, so we might as well pull for the Dodgers, and then they come in. So The strange thing about this series, I think about this: if we sweep the Marlins, we'll still be a game behind Miami. That's how depressing this beginning has been. All right, let's get ready. Friday Night Baseball, opening day, baby. Great to see everybody in the chat. Smash that like on your way out, and please share, so we can get more and more people. Because I love seeing y'all talk in the chat. It's great to see the camaraderie, even though I can't keep up with it half the time, and I do apologize that sometimes it goes too fast. I'm not a smart man, but I do know what baseball is.